Hello, my name is Larissa Morales and my unit plan involves 8th grade math for the distributive property. This unit involves a combination of standards: the California Common Core State Standards for Math, California Common Core State Standards for English Language Arts, and technology standards. The math standard for 8th grade involves evaluating expressions, solve linear equations with rational number coefficients, including equations whose solutions require expanding expressions using the distributive property and collecting like terms. The standards for English Language Arts for 8th grade include students using knowledge of language and its conventions when writing, speaking, reading, or listening, engaging effectively in a range of collaborative discussions with diverse partners on grade 8 topics, text, and issues, building on others' ideas and expressing their own clearly. Evaluating the advantages and disadvantages of using different mediums to present a particular topic or idea, and using technology, including the internet, to produce and publish writing and present the relationship between information and ideas efficiently, as well as to interact and collaborate with others. The technology standards addressed include creativity and innovation, where students demonstrate creative thinking, construct knowledge, and develop innovative products and processes using technology, create original works as a means of personal or group expression, communication and collaboration, where students use digital media and environments to communicate and work collaboratively, including at a distance, to support individual learning and contribute to the learning of others. Students will interact, collaborate, and publish with peers, experts, or others, employing a variety of digital environments and media. My unit plan will additionally incorporate Bloom's taxonomy so students can obtain deeper understanding of the content. Higher levels of thinking will be reached by going beyond understanding and knowledge to now incorporating comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Students will reflect throughout the unit as well in order to evaluate their own learning. Throughout the unit, Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences will be interwoven so that all learning styles are involved in the real-life applications. With the incorporation of Common Core and technology, students are able to have engaging lessons that involve real-life scenarios with various types of teaching styles. Instead of lectures that benefit only a small percentage of students, the Common Core standards and multiple intelligences woven throughout the unit allows all students' needs to be met in an engaging and safe classroom. Albert Einstein said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." My verbal linguistic students will enjoy writing definitions for the unit vocabulary using the app Study Blue, using the website Prezi to explain and present the classifications of the distributive property, developing Frayer models for each term from the unit vocabulary using Google Docs, and creating scenarios that utilize the distributive property and posting the scenario on the class website on Edmodo. Interpersonal students will enjoy creating an interactive study survey to identify the distributive property and using Google Forms to quiz classmates, collaborating in groups and making observations about the property using Adobe Classroom, investigating a professional who frequently uses the distributive property and interviewing that person using a Google Chromebook, and finally, guiding a group discussion on how to solve the property using iMovie. Bodily kinesthetic students will enjoy creating hand motions that show the steps of the property and creating clips of the motions using the app Vine, gathering and categorizing the steps for the property using the website orgonomy.com, developing a short minute scenario using the property and presenting it using Google Handouts, and imitating a real-life scenario that uses the distributive property and recording it with an iPad to present with an Apple TV. My intrapersonal students will enjoy independently making a list of the steps to solve the property using the app Notability, summarizing the best way to solve the property and posting their thoughts on a blog website, developing a logical argument of the best way to solve the property and justify their findings using the app Bamboo Paper Notebook, and creating a PowerPoint that advocates and defends the best way to solve the distributive property problems. Naturalist students will enjoy identifying the ingredients they use to cook a meal that includes the property and posting the recipe on the class webpage on weebly.com, classifying real-life scenarios using the property and report their findings on the app Evernote, developing a sequential list of the top ways to solve real-life distributive property problems and posting it using Google Slides, and finally, analyzing scenarios created by a classmate and write in detail which scenarios include the property using the Notes app on their iPad. My visual spatial learners will enjoy creating a color-coordinated poster that identifies the steps of the properties and applying them to real-life situations. The poster will be created using the PictoChart Google app. Second, collecting and displaying the best way to use the property and mapping their findings using the app Simple Mind Plus. Third, comparing multiple real-life scenarios using the distributive property and designing a flowchart of the most effective step using the website www.draw.io. And finally, evaluating real-life scenarios in order to outline the best way to solve the property, then posting their findings on an infogram using the website infogr.am. Musical rhythmic intelligences will enjoy creating a chant of the steps to solving the distributive property and recording it using the app GarageBand, identifying patterns for solving the distributive property in a music video and posting it on YouTube, sharing their interpretation of the property through a rap and creating a podcast of the rap, and finally, designing the song of their own about the property and posting it on the website SoundCloud. Finally, logical mathematical students will enjoy calculating problems involving the property using the app Math Champ Challenge, solving problems using the property and comparing the best way to solve it using the app Graphio Light Diagrams and Ideas, assessing their learning of the property by calculating problems using the app Common Core Quest, and finally, evaluating whether to use the distributive property by creating a web quest using the website questgarden.com. The end of the unit project is the distributive property movie. Students will use their iPads and iMovie to create a movie that shows a scenario of a real-life situation that uses the distributive property. The scenario must include the distributive property. The skit must be posted on Edmodo. The scenario must be recorded using an iPad. The skit must show an infogram of the best way to solve scenarios using the distributive property. Students must create a chant of their own using GarageBand that tells the steps to solve the distributive property. And students must provide a link to their web quest that evaluates whether problems in the skit uses the distributive property and/or combining like terms. After the video is complete, students are to share the video with the class on the Apple TV. This class has taught me that technology and the multiple intelligences can be woven into all lessons so that all of my students' needs are met. We have a duty now to take what we have learned from this class and make sure our students' needs and intelligences are met. We each study a different way in order to retain the material. Why should our students be any different? For middle school students, it would mean having lessons with the intelligences incorporated. For elementary school, centers could be involved so students' intelligences would be included. It is important to include technology into the lessons as well as the multiple intelligences so students can be prepared for college, career, and beyond. As adults, we have to know how we learn best and how to use technology if we are ever to be successful in life and the workforce. Why does the classroom have to be any different? By incorporating technology and the MIs into my classroom, I can make sure that not only my students' needs are met, but that it is an engaging, safe, and rigorous curriculum.